What is going on, everybody? The Gaming Ultra here, and I'm gonna tell you a story this time that I got stuck in a tree, and not stuck in a tree where I got too high and I couldn't get down by myself and I needed a ladder or anything. I mean when I slid down and got my upper leg stuck in a V part of the limbs, and this happened when I was about 11, I believe, so about 3 years ago. And when it happened, me, my brother, and my sister were walking outside in our backyard. And we came up upon a tree that had a lot of bird nests in it. And we happened to come across one that had fallen out. And, you know, we had to be the nice little kids and we had to put it back. Or we had to try to, anyway. And we all three got up there and we found a nice high spot to put it in there. And we got it in, we got out fine. And after a while, they got bored of being outside, so they ended up going inside, and it was in the summertime, so it was hot. Not everybody was outside for the whole day. At least we were, anyway. And so they went inside, my mom was getting ready to cook lunch, and I wanted to go check on the bird's nest, which made absolute no sense given the fact that I just put it up there 30 minutes ago.
Only 1 year into their games.
But I ended up going up there to check it, and
They only put 1 year into their games.
when I got up there fine, I got up there perfectly fine, I checked it, it was all good, but the part that takes a turn is when I try to get out. When I tried to get out, my upper leg ended up getting wedged in between a V shape in the limbs. And it got wedged in there so tight that I couldn't move it. And you know, I was stuck there. I couldn't get out. It was too tight. I couldn't get out. And so after a while of me not coming inside, after my mom had cooked lunch, she sent my little brother out there to get me. And when he got there, he heard me screaming and crying, you know. And so he went inside to get my mom and tell her that I was stuck in the tree and couldn't get out. And she asked if it was, you know, too high to where that I couldn't get out by myself. And he said no, that my leg was stuck in between the branches and that I couldn't move. And so she came outside. She gave me a bottle of water because it was summer and I was crying and screaming and sweating a lot. And so she came outside. She tried to pull me out herself, which didn't work. And she ended up calling one of my best friend's dad, who was a volunteer firefighter. And he came down. He was just getting off of his lunch break, and he came down to try to pull me out by himself, which did not work either. After a little while of that, after a little while of him trying to get me out and not being successful, he called up some of his other friends who were also volunteer firefighters. They came down with the fire truck, which, even though I was stuck in a tree and couldn't move, it was honestly really cool to me because it was right in my backyard. And they tried using a crowbar to pull me out. They tried pulling their own force. They couldn't get me out either way. They suggested that they cut the limb far enough down to where my leg would just fall out. But then they suggested that it would be too close to my leg that they could risk cutting my leg open. And so they decided to get the jaws of life. And if you don't know what that is, it's a mechanical prior. If you, say, get in a car accident and you can't get the door open, they'll take the jaws of life and they'll pry open the door. It's actually really cool. And they got that out, and at that time my leg was turning completely purple, all the way down from my upper thigh to my ankles. And my mom pointed that out, and you know, they had to go quicker, you know. They didn't want any permanent damage to my leg, so they ended up getting the jaws of life. They ended up prying it open.
You can choose to go into a lobby with only people who have mics.
I got out okay. It was all good. I was mad at the tree. I don't know why, but I was. It's not like it's the tree's fault or anything that I got wedged in between it. But I ended up having a baseball game that evening, and I I was really nervous that I wouldn't be able to play because I was stuck in a tree for about an hour and 30 minutes to 2 hours. And I was really nervous that I wouldn't be able to play since my leg was purple and that I lost a whole bunch of circulation in that time being stuck in the tree. And I ended up playing the game. I ended up doing fine. My coach told the umpire that what had happened, and that if I started to look like I couldn't play anymore, that the umpire needs to just tell me, or tell the coach, and that he would pull me out of the game. Which, you know, being a baseball player, you don't really want to happen, but it is what it is. I ended up playing fine, and it ended up going okay. After that, I never really got in a tree again. I never really climbed any trees ever again. Most of it's because of what happened then, but the other reason is I'm not really an outdoorsman kind of guy. I don't really like to climb trees anymore now that I'm older. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, this story of the time I got stuck in a tree,